What's up, Nikki?
Hi, Dr. John. How are you?
Good. You?
I'm doing okay. I'm very interested to see what you have to say today.
Well, I am, as my wife would say, feeling a little bit much. So let's do it.
So I am struggling to explain to my husband that the way we have been interacting lately has made me feel like my role in the family is misunderstood. The things that are on my plate is misunderstood and not appreciated.
Okay. Tell me more.
So my husband works a job that he has to be in person, so he's not at home during the day.
Okay.
He makes about 2/3 of our income. I do also work full time. However, I am fully remote, so I am at home all day, and I make about 1/3 of our income. We have 2 children, 2 daughters, 2 under 2, and I watch them from home while I work remotely.
Good God Almighty! You can't do that.
So I have a very flexible job. I've been in my job for a while now. I am very good at my job. And so I am able to, while working a little bit outside of the normal hours, to make up for any time that I couldn't do things during the day. I'm able to keep up. I don't miss deadlines. I'm not in any sort of like trouble at work or anything like that. So it is working for us. The cost of childcare is ridiculous.
Hold on, can I stop you? Can I interrupt you? Oh, it's so rude of me. Can I interrupt you?
Yeah,
It's not working for you.
It's not working for me?
No. Can I tell you how I know that?
Okay.
You started off by dividing up the income. What that means is your husband has a life, and you have a life. And to your life, you have added 2 children under the age of 2. And your life, which you measure in productivity and income, has less value than his life in the dynamic y'all have created in your home. And it's not working for you anymore. Just because you can hit deadlines doesn't mean you're not drowning. It means you're really, really strong, but you're getting tired. Is that fair?
I'm very tired.
Okay.
It's not just those things that make me tired. I think if I had just those 2 things on my plate, I would feel, because I'm very fulfilled as a mother, and I am not stay-at-home mom material in the sense that I can't have other things for my mind to be on. I enjoy that my work makes me do other things with my mind. But if it were just those things, I don't think I would be so tired. It's everything else.
Yeah. And so how have you tried to bring this up with your husband in the past?
So the main issue is, like, an example is he'll come home, he'll give me a kiss, run and go see the girls, wherever they may be. And one of my children is almost 2 years old. So she is a terror. I love her, but she's a terror. And a thing that she's been doing lately is pouring out her snacks and stomping all over them because it's fun. And so sometimes if that happens and I'm in the middle of a spreadsheet or I'm in the middle of making dinner, because I like to have dinner done earlier in the day, I don't feel the need to go and clean that right away. It's not dangerous. It's not hurting anyone. We have a dog. She'll probably eat it. And so I just don't feel the need to do that. But when he comes home, it is immediate irritation. He's irritated that I have left that mess. And in the past, he has tried to, what I believe in a good way, try to tell me things that may, quote unquote, help me in my day, like habits that I can try and add to my day that may make my day easier. However, it comes across as ignorant and selfish because I feel like he's asking me to do things so he is not irritated when he comes home. And that's kind of like not my focus. I'm not.
So you're stuck in a dance. Can I interrupt your dance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I may be completely out to lunch here. I am going to assume positive intent from both of you, okay? He's not abusive or mean or ugly in any other way. Is that fair?
No, he is, outside of this issue we've been having, he is the most genuine, the most kind, and the most loving person I've ever met.
Perfect. So I think this is my naively optimistic opinion that most couples fall in the situation that you're in. Okay? And I choose to be optimistic here.
Okay.
I think he sees the chaos in the house. And he goes to love you the best way he knows how, which is with data and information, a solution. Because that's how often, and I'm over-gendering this, I know, that is how men talk to each other. Well, dude, just change the tire. Dude, just go get your oil changed. Or if you just moved the whatever.
Right.
It feels like to you that he's calling you dumb and lazy because you don't need a solution. You know it's there. What you need is to be seen and heard and to say, how can I love you right this second?
Yeah.
Or to not say anything, to see that stuff on the floor and not immediately think, oh God, she's overwhelmed. I'm going to show her where the life raft is. But to see that and go, I've got an opportunity to serve my family. I'm going to grab a vacuum.
Yeah.
And so both of you, I think, are trying to help. You're just speaking different languages.
The hardest part for me is I feel his irritation, whether it's body language or just how his vibe is coming off. And I get this pit in my stomach like I failed him.
That's right.
And then I get angry because I'm like, I haven't failed him. I'm taking care of our children and I'm working and I'm contributing to the household.
There you go.
I also do all of the shopping.
Here it comes. Let it rip. Let it all. What's all the stuff you do? Rattle it off.
I do all of everything with the kids, their doctor's appointments. I joined a board on our church to do a mom's morning out program so I could get a discounted rate because I'm on the board. So that way I could afford to have some sort of break during the week. Okay. And I don't need a pat on the back. I have made choices in life. I decided to become a wife. I decided to become a mother. I'm doing the things that come with that. I just don't need criticism.
Have you said that exact sentence?
I have. And
how is it met?
He wants to help me. And he says that every time he comes up with a solution and I try to explain to him why it doesn't work the way he thinks it will, implementation just doesn't happen how he thinks it will, he says I just get defensive. And then I get defensive.
Do you?
And then we fight.
Do you get defensive?
I do.
Okay.
I do. And I don't know what else to do because I feel like I have to defend what I'm doing all day to make him see that it's not what he thinks it is.
I'm sorry. I just see two people who love each other trying to do the best they can, and they haven't made peace with the fact that every single aspect of their life is different now. And so
have you heard people say marriage is 50-50? I hear people say that all the time.
That's the stupidest thing.
That.
Yeah, it's nonsense. It's total stupid, dumb nonsense.
I used to think that it was if one day a partner's giving 20% and the other one's giving 80%, but I have come to realize that sometimes you're giving 20 and the other person's getting 20 and the rest of it is just not happening. And I don't think that my husband shares that perspective. I think he thinks that we need to always be fully productive, fully efficient, at full capacity. And sometimes I think it's okay for those things not to happen. I think it's okay if our children are safe and fed and feel loved, that the dishes just get done the next day.
Well, and let me rephrase. Let me add a different perspective. Sometimes you gave 100, and the dishes would have been 105.
Yeah.
I don't think you're giving 20 and he's giving 20, or you're giving 20 and he's giving 100. I think you gave 100. And that's where we got. And there's times when, now maybe you got the flu and you can only give 25. And as a husband, I'm going to give 175. That means something else has to give.
Right.
And that's part of life. I'm going to skip my workouts and skip my reading and skip my guitar playing and skip my whatever because that's what it takes, and vice versa, right? When I'm in the middle of writing a book, my wife knows she's carrying more load for this particular season. We've talked it through. But y'all are the dishes, the Cheerios, those are a proxy war. And the proxy is, I miss my old life. The proxy is, I want everything the way I want it all right now. And neither of you have metabolized the fact that it's not reality.
I don't feel like I miss my old life, but I think he misses his.
That's fair.
I
Often men don't understand how much their life has changed. And I'm going to just speak for me. I didn't know because I didn't know. Nobody let me babysit when I was in middle school or high school. I was never around little kids. And whatever I Googled was just so much. I even went to parenting classes. I didn't know what screaming baby meant. I didn't know how to comfort a kid. I knew how to fold a diaper. I went to that class, but I didn't know kids crapped 117 times a day. I didn't know any of this stuff. I knew that babies needed to eat every 2 hours. I didn't know that the clock started the moment they started eating. I thought it was when they got done. I didn't know any of that stuff. And it became a source of frustration because my wife knew all these things, and it was frustrating for her to have to tell me all this stuff. I didn't know. And
I feel like I want him to know that I'm a completely different person.
Yes.
In the same body.
That's where the conversation has to be. Everything in our marriage as we knew it is over now. What do we want to be true moving forward? What do we want to be true moving forward?
I just want us to be a team. We've always been one, and I want our kids to grow up and see us be a team. I want my daughters to know that they can be strong and that they can do the things they love, and they don't have to sacrifice just to be a mom. Like, I want them to grow up and know
but
that.
Hold on, that's not true. It's not true. There is sacrifices when you become a mom.
That is true.
There's choices.
They don't have to sacrifice everything to be a mom.
Not everything, but there are sacrifices to be made. And some of the sacrifices might be, my husband has a dream that when he walks home, the house feels a certain way. Well, it's not going to when we have 2 kids, 2 years and younger. It's just not. Unless he wants to work extra hours and hire someone to come clean the house.
Yeah.
Or if he wants to come home and pick up a vacuum and spend 15 minutes when he walks in the door. Great. But a lot of that is, okay, our marriage as we knew it is over. We've always been a team. The way we're trying to be a team is really us trying to go back to driving the minivan. The minivan wrecked. Minivan's over. Actually, it didn't wreck. It just ran out of gas. We planned our life to be different. We just didn't understand how different it was all going to be.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to give you the exercise that whenever I do marriage stuff all over the country in person or whenever, like, this is what shifted it in my house. Okay?
Okay.
The exercise my wife and I did was, how do you want this house to feel like when you walk in the door? And then once I said out loud and she said out loud, in fact, we wrote it down, here's what I want this house to feel like. Then we just reverse engineered it. Well, then here's what must be true. And I had to make some significant changes. And my wife had to make some significant changes. But that was the exercise of us staying on the same team. And by traffic, and I don't like to do this very often, but by trafficking and feeling, how do you want this house to feel? That kept me out of my charts and graph solutions mode.
Okay.
But my guess is your husband just knows how to provide solutions because that's what his job pays him for.
He's very analytical.
Yeah. And that provides a chunk of the roof under which y'all both are building a home. And it's hard for people, especially for men, when they go to work and they get celebrated and paid for a thing and they go home. I had a conversation with my son last night. Hey, people from all over the country pay me a ton of money to come sit down and ask questions about relationships and stuff. How come you won't ask me? Like, what world have I created? And he's like, well, and his explanation was actually really good and thoughtful and profound. But that's not what I need you for, Dad. And he was right. And so the thing I do at work isn't the thing that my family needs sometimes. And that's okay.
I think that would have a very profound impact on him if I said it like that.
Okay. But I think the exercise and the planning and the dreaming can be a blast. But you have to get past the defensiveness. He gets defensive, and then you get defensive, and then it just both of y'all build walls, and all you can do is just throw grenades over each other's walls. Something about, okay, what we had was amazing. We used to make out all the time. Used to make spreadsheets, and I would work, and I would be on like volunteer. Like, it was just awesome. We did whatever we wanted to. And in the last 24 months, the life as we knew, it's over now. Now what? And I don't need your spreadsheets. I just need you. I don't need your analytics and your plans and your extreme ownership. I don't need that. I need you to pick up a vacuum. After the feelings conversation, I'll tell you an exercise my wife and I do every day of our lives is to say, how can I love you today? And what does your picture of today look like? Not, hey, what do you got going on tonight? We talk past each other when we do that. What's your picture of today look like? Let's be very specific about what today's going to look like. Oh, okay, cool. I can make that happen. If he's driving home knowing I had a crazy day at work, I'm going to pull into the driveway. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hug my wife, give her a kiss, and I'm going to grab I'm going to grab a sponge, clean the dishes up real fast. He can do that. He can do that all day long. And then he gets to choose if he wants to be a whiny baby, resentful, or choose to be like, yeah, that's right. Didn't think this is how I'd be helping my family, but in this season, this is how I'm helping my family. That's awesome. I get to do this. Other men went to war for centuries, and I get to do the dishes right when I get home. That's awesome. And then go about it today. Like, man, just knowing that, though, is so big. Having that conversation. Thank you for the call. I just know you're not crazy, and every couple I know goes through this. The couples that not only survive, but thrive on the other side of this, they have a celebration for what was, and then they say, okay, let's build something new. What does that look like? And often the things that worked in the old life don't work so well in this new life. Great. And everybody gives up something when you have 2 kids in 2 years, and you both want to work full time, and everybody gives up something. It's just negotiating. What are we giving up? And for how long? You're awesome, Nikki.